Hello and welcome back to Satisfactory. My name is Volcata, and I'd like to take a quick moment before we get started to welcome all the new viewers. It seems that with our mega build for the circuit boards, for some reason YouTube algorithm decided to be kind to us and put us in front of a lot more people, and we have a bunch more subscribers and more viewers. So yeah, welcome to the channel and welcome to the series, and I hope you enjoy your stay, and definitely be sure to hit the comment section and let me know what you like about the series, anything that you don't like or what you would like to see going forward, because this series is nothing without the viewers, and you guys do help tailor the direction it goes. So all that being said, we're going to get going with this episode. We have a bunch to do. We're going to be a little bit all over the place. It's not going to be a mega build this episode. But also, there was a update to the game this week, and I noticed in the patch notes that there were some things added to the Awesome Shop, I believe. Something about half pipes and whatnot. I literally have not clicked on this thing yet. I thought, you know what, let's just do it live, or as live as a replay is, and kind of see what the new things are that show up. Again, there was something about half pipe or quarter pipe. Clean pipes. Oh, okay. I saw it said something about no indicator. So the indicator would be that thing in the middle that pulsates. I like that thing, so I don't think I want to get rid of it. But now I understand what the patch notes were. We might pick that up in the future. But right now, I just kind of want to see what there is. Okay, they said quarter pipes, and I saw the way they said pipes. Okay, I get it. When they say pipes, they mean these things. There was a note, I think, about the quarter pipes now having different foundation types, and we haven't used them because they are strictly just this one foundation type. So that's great. That's wonderful. I don't know if there was anything else added. Hey, we still haven't picked that one up. Steel-sided roof? Why did we not pick that up? All right, we should grab that. All right, I'll make a couple purchases off camera. You don't need to see me run around picking up tickets. I want to check real quick the half pipe options. Let's see here. Where are those? We don't use them. Yeah. See, these have always been just the one thing. Oh, good. Excellent. So, oh, nice. We can actually start using these. Very good. And this, I mean, we could have used them before, but we don't typically use the basic foundation. So that's good. That's good. All right, so I'm going to head over to the electronics hub, where we're going to start all of today's work, and we'll just get started. And that way we can kind of cover what our plans are for today. So let's get to it. All right, here we are back at the electronics hub. We've been away for a little while, working on the Spire Coast. And let's turn this off here so it doesn't run off without us. All right, here we go. And, we do want to get some product built today, start producing more things. But before we do that, we need to address another kind of long-standing issue, and that has to do with the station itself. So I'm going to come up here real quick, get ourselves a kind of bird's eye view of the station, and start talking about the changes I want to make and why we need to make them. So let's get away from those guys. Jetpack, don't fail me now. Oh, run out. Whew. Oh, hey, you know what? This is a good vantage point. All right, we'll just take this. All right, so anyway, our current design of the station, and so I say station, I use this interchangeably, right? These are individually stations, and the entire thing collectively is a station. So I guess we'll call it the station complex. So the current station complex involves stations that are facing different directions. And as you can see right there was a congestion. That guy had to turn around. That's something I'm going to talk about as part of a problem with our current design. So right now, with the stations facing different directions, we have to have these turnarounds, little roundabouts. It's like that guy is going to have to pass up all the stations, turn around, and then come back. And that guy who was leaving had to do the same thing. He was leaving, he had to go all the way down, go all the way around, and then go all the way back. And that was a lot of looping back that is honestly kind of unnecessary. And that's one of the things that we want to address and solve by our retrofit of this station complex. Now, we have been implementing a new strategy for stations lately on our past couple of stations, 2 or 3. You know, honestly, I guess we could say that the oil station way down there also kind of follows the new strategy. But most directly, the encased industrial beam station way over there that you can't see through these rocks uses this new strategy. And way over there in the spire, which you also can't see through these rocks, uses the new strategy. And that is to say that we have the rail line, the main line, independent of the stations. So right now, the stations are kind of nestled in the middle of the line, and it has to bulge and go around it. What we want to do is have the rails themselves just kind of go on by on their own, as if the stations aren't there, and then to have branches that come off and then flow through the stations and then come back and rejoin with the main line. And that helps make the stations independent. It also helps the trains be able to choose where they want to go when they leave without having to run down extra track to do loops. Now, in order to do this retrofit, unfortunately, we're going to have to change the direction of one or more stations because we need all the input and all the output to be aligned in one row. Right now, you can see we have output for that station and input for this station, all sharing the same platform line. And that's kind of convoluted. If we had to do more stations, that would get more problematic. In fact, it's a real problem over at our home base, but we'll address that at a different date. But when we change this around, we'll have one line coming in, and this is the direction we're going to go. We're going to go from that side to that side. We'll have one line coming in, and you can come down the track either way and turn in. And then they will all come out this way and all come back down, and they can turn and go whichever direction they need. And that makes it flow much better. And it eliminates the need for them to go extra distances to go around these loops. It also eliminates these loops interrupting other trains, as we saw over in that corner, because these loops have to cross track. And every time you cross track, you create an intersection. And it creates efficiencies if we can avoid that whenever possible. So I'm going to get to work on doing this. It's going to take a long time, probably going to take me an hour or 2, who knows, because I need to not only flip the direction, but I have to flip the order of all of these. I have to swap all the product that's in them currently. I have to rebelt everything so that they're going to the right place. And that's just going to take time. So I'm going to get working, start getting this drawn out. And when I have some progress to show you guys, I'll bring it back and you can see for yourselves what I'm talking about in case any of that didn't make sense. So I will see you soon. All right, here we are with more or less the layout. There is still more fixing to be done. But I think it's working. I ran into some serious problems. And they were kind of self-induced problems because when I flipped this station, I forgot to remove the blockers, or the path blockers, because I have one on each end of every station. Well, they were backwards for that station. I had done everything else, and those 2 trains, the Spire train and the rubber train, wouldn't function. And all I needed to do was flip those 2 that I had left behind when I flipped the station. So I think he's going to start moving now. That guy came here on his own. Come on, buddy. Now we're not done. As you can see, there's still track up in here. That station right there is now attached to the output, but the input is still coming from around there. So I need to remove all that. Why are you not moving? This, these are the troubles with trains. I'm confident that there's something really simple that is blocking hell. The pathing seems fine. Oh, look how long that red line is. No, that's pink or orange. Something's blocking this signal. So there is a bug in the game that can cause rails to treat each other as one, even though they don't touch, which we discovered and fixed. That doesn't need to be there. Oh, maybe it is. in a live stream on another part. So let's see here. Oh, wait a minute. That line doesn't go that direction. That doesn't even belong. There was a temporary... I had a line going 2 directions temporarily on purpose. Going that way. It's coming this way. What do you not like about this? He's on orange line. I put these temporarily too. I need to fix that. But I don't need to fix it because these are all going away. Let's just do that right now. That was it. It was just confused from those, the leftovers. Again, I need to immediately connect this line to that because now the Quickwire is blocked. It no longer has a way in. But that should be simple. There we go. Just like that. And this bypass here is no longer a thing. So I can start cleaning all that up. All right, I'm going to finish cleaning all this up and get, oh, yeah, there it was. No, that's the Spire train? Waiting for him to go. Okay. Yeah, so we should also see, there he is. Now, this can cause a little bit of a bottleneck that we didn't have before because we have them coming from 2 different directions entering the stations. But typically, they won't all be here at the same time. This is a one-time thing because the line wasn't running due to signaling and stuff. And so they all kind of got as far as they could and all stopped. That's kind of expected. So this will be simple enough to fix. Well, actually, I don't even think we need to fix it. I think we're good. And they should uncongest as they are all at different points on their route. And every once in a while, they'll, 2 of them will end up here at the same time, but there won't be major delays like all 3 of them. So let me finish cleaning this up, and we can get to actually doing some building. All right, there it is. It is all done. Well, the tracks are done. There is still a lot of cleanup to do under the platform with all the conveyors and whatnot. But that's not something we can really address right now because of the product line that we are kind of working on and what we're going to need to get it up and running. So let's go down there real quick, and go over kind of we're in kind of a pickle we're in, and explain what we need to do and why we're going to need to do it. And it's going to involve that miner right up there, the giant orange building over there, then that green one off in the distance. Yeah, you can see we're just storing the circuit boards right now. Stuff's all over the place. Ignore all of this because this is all going to change. So what is our end goal? What is our product line that we are aiming towards? Well, that is high-speed connectors. Now, we're not going to make them today, but this is what we've been gearing towards all along with our need to bring on, a new supplemental source of circuit boards. But it's not because we don't have enough circuit boards. Well, we don't. But in honesty, high-speed connectors really don't use very many circuit boards. It's not a big drain. The real problem is the Quickwire. And you might remember, if you have been following the series, that we have been kind of Quickwire junkies. We built a massive factory that produces 1,200 Quickwire per minute. It's over in that direction. That's why I'm looking at that wall. And we've been bringing it in via train. And it was, 1,200 was plenty for the time when we made it, because we didn't need 1,200 for our immediate goals, which were ultimately to build that building over there to get our initial computer manufacturing up and running. And if you're not familiar with that building is housing 8 manufacturers, 4 of which are currently active, 4 of which are not yet plugged in. So that's making 4 manufacturers worth of computers. We do want to go up to 8. And the recipe it's using is an alternate that uses Quickwire. So here we have all the Quickwire that those 4 manufacturers are using. It's 420 per minute, it's 105 per 4 machines. And remember, we're only producing 1,200. And down here we have all of the circuit board assemblers that we need for those 4. It's exactly 12 assemblers that produces on the dot the amount of circuit boards we need for the 4 manufacturers. Now, unfortunately, these 12 assemblers are also using Quickwire. So that's another 450, bringing us up to 870 Quickwire total to run 4 machines, 4 manufacturers, because we're, counting it towards the circuit boards. That brings us over 800, right? 870, as I said. That isn't bad enough. Over here we have our AI limiter building, which is using another 400. If you do a little bit of quick math, that means we are already over our 1,200 limit. We already are operating at a deficit. And if we want to bring 4 more of those online, and if we want to do high-speed connectors, then we need a lot more Quickwire. Now, fortunately, we can ramp up our Quickwire at the facility off in the distance, because we are not overclocking the miners yet, and that is something we're going to have to do. But I don't want to just crank it to the roof and immediately eat up all the Quickwire. I don't feel like that's a good idea, and it doesn't really help us in the future when we want to use Quickwire for something else. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to take all of these offline. We're no longer going to use the Quickwire alternate recipe for these circuit boards, which means we are going to go down in the amount of circuit boards that we are creating. But as people have mentioned in chat and in comments, there is another circuit board recipe which we now have, which is this one right here. And this is what we're going to do to replace those circuit boards. Not only is it going to alleviate our usage of Quickwire, but it's also going to produce more circuit boards than they are currently right now for the Quickwire, right? Because the 12 of these are producing 875 per minute per machine, right? We'll now have 12 machines producing 12.5, which is fantastic because we're going to need more of them for the other computer buildings when they come up running. So in order to get that up and running, we're going to need some of this stuff right here, copper sheeting, which we have 380 not in use, which is more than enough for those 12 machines. And it's going to require silica, which brings us back to what we were talking about earlier. We're going to use this miner up here, which is too far away for us to click on. There it is. So our next thing is going to be to eat up all of that quartz into silica. And the recipe, that's actually with this right here. We don't need to go up there. Constructor. Silica uses 22.5 raw quartz per minute. That is a pure node. So if we bring up the in-game calculator, 240 divided by 22.5, you can see we can run 10.6 constructors off of that. That's going to give us way more than we need, which is great. We'll just, store the surplus, and that's fine. So that is going to be the next thing we're going to do, is we're going to go ahead and bring our silica online, and then we're going to run it over there and into that building. Remember, the building's already set up. Right now it's using plastic and it's using Quickwire. All we have to do is just disconnect the Quickwire and plastic and plug in the new resources, and it will automatically work for itself. It's already even running to the building. So super simple, no building required for that. So I'm going to go ahead and start putting a building up, and I'm going to put it just up here, in fact, because it'll be nice to have another building up on this ridge, you know, that we can look from the station and see our buildings and see the complex. And so it'll be nice to have another building on the ridge. And in fact, I think that the miner will probably be inside the building, and it'll just feed straight into the machines, and then we will have an output that we can run down and across and start using. So I'm going to get on that real quick. Again, unfortunately, the time-lapse tool still doesn't work, so there will not be a time-lapse of it. I'll just bring you guys back when we have something to show off. All right, well, here's the building. And if I don't sound so excited, well, there's a reason. And it's not because I'm not happy with the building. In fact, I'm ecstatic with the building. Look at it. It's so pretty. I built it as a summer home, kind of. A summer home factory. And we got to incorporate the quarter pipes, you know, now that we have the new textures for them. So this was the first time to really have an excuse to use them. And look at this building. It's so neat. You know, it's like, again, it's like a little summer home, right? It's all glassed on the front so we can look over all this stuff, and we have a walk around, and you know, there's a kind of like a balcony that we can just, this is so cool. And all the stuff's running through it and down, and we even have the stacked wave for the silica to go out. And it's all pretty, and it uses the new roofing that we just unlocked, that we just discovered. Hey, look at the interior, right? It's all painted. The floor is even painted and shiny, and it's all clean. And look, we have a staircase to go upstairs. We can even go upstairs and look up off the roof. Look at this. I mean, this building's got everything. It just, you know, second floor view. I mean, I was so happy with this building. It took me a long time to get it just all balanced nicely. Get our little walk around. Like, it can't go any wider because of these rocks, and it can't go farther back because, you know, trees. I really worked this out, and yeah, I mean, if you haven't figured it out, there's a problem. And the problem isn't with this building. The building is perfect. It does everything that it was meant to do. The problem is with me. I did one stage of math, not realizing that we needed 2 stages of math. And this is going to be a very quick clip because this is unusable. So, in very quick, we are building this for the silica for the circuit board recipe. Right here. We're going to activate 12 machines, which is going to use up 330 silica per minute. This facility is going to produce 397, I think, leaving us a surplus of 60. And that was fine. Everything was great. We were happy. And that was our nearsighted goal. The problem is that I wasn't looking 2 steps ahead. I forgot a small detail, which is that our ultimate goal, the high-speed connectors, the alternate recipe also uses silica. Even to run 4 of these machines, it's going to eat up 150 more silica, which is more than the 90 surplus that we have. Now, we can, in a short term, overclock this miner, and we have room for, you know, another one up here. And we have one that's underclocked, so we could overclock, or not overclock it, but bring it back up to normal speed. And that would almost be enough. It might, in fact, it might exactly be enough. But then that runs us completely out of silica. So I think what we need to do is actually just scrap this gorgeous building, which I had to show you it before, you know, I don't have a plan B. I don't know if we're going to be able to save any of this or what, but from our math needs, our output needs, we have a solution, which is we have an alternate recipe for silica that uses assemblers, And that uses limestone, which if we look at the map, we're right here, there's limestone right here. So we can produce enough silica off of this one miner by using that alternate recipe, and that's probably what we should do. So I'm going to go back to the drawing board. I'm going to figure out if there's any way of salvaging anything of this building, because this building is so awesome and I'm so happy with it. But in case we can't, this clip this clip is here to show you guys what could have been. All right, I'm going back to the drawing board, and I'll come back with a solution. See you guys soon. I'm so sorry. Sorry, innocent tree. You don't deserve this, but you're in the way of progress. Your sacrifice will not be in vain. And we can't have any witnesses. All right, it's done. It's done again. Oh, look at it. Oh, man. You know, there's the hewn out carcass of my original build. I left it partially built because I was trying to mimic as much as I could the design, but it still took easily as long to rebuild it because the interior had to be redesigned right from scratch, because different dynamics on how you're running things, especially when you have to do 2 inputs. And so it wasn't as simple as just cloning the building. I really kind of had to reinvent the building from scratch, but I did manage to fit it within the same form factor. And as you can see, I've gone back through and repainted everything the same color scheme. The building's just longer than it was before, but again, I did manage to keep the same design. So I'm glad that I was able to do that. It was a considerable amount of work. Like I said, it at least doubled the amount of time it took to do this. And I'll just need to finish cleaning this up, which I'll do this in a little bit. I am genuinely exhausted because this video is due out in a few hours. And there was a bunch more I wanted to get done. But, sometimes quality takes time, and you take the time to get it right. And that's what we've done here. And I feel good about it because, I would be bothered by it if I hadn't taken the time to get it right. So I still need to plug that in. Okay, everything should be wired up and cabled up and everything. I need to clean up some foliage here. But this is the alternate recipe for silica using raw quartz and limestone. And we had to overclock the limestone at least a little bit, but that's not a big deal. And we brought it in over up in the area, which we'll run up there in a second here and look at it. But in order to kind of still fit this in the same design, you see I had to kind of pack in the splitters and float them a little bit to get them between each machine. And then they go around, they go up to the next floor and do the same. I had to make the building longer, which is why I couldn't go with that building, because not only would it have taken out all these trees, but it also would have run into that cliffside. So, I had to flip-flop the miners, because they were both quartz miners, and that one will now supply the quartz for our oscillators and the quartz crystal in there, and this one will, of course, it'll feed straight into itself. And traditionally, I turn these on for the first time while people are watching, so we can all see them succeed or fail all at once. Hopefully this is all wired properly, so that should turn on over there. Can't tell if it's a green light or not. Okay, there we go. Here comes the limestone. Oh, ran past the door. It's over here. All right, and we should start seeing lights come on. It's going to take a second because, they're supplying from different sides, right? So the quartz is going to hit these first, and the limestone is going to hit those first. So give it a second here, and we'll watch some of the stuff turn on, and we should start seeing a bunch of silica coming out. All right, it looks like some of the machines are starting to kick in. We got a little bit of silica going. I think what we can do is just start to follow the trail, and we need to hook them up to the circuit board building that they're going to take over. Now, I've already disconnected the circuit board building from the Quickwire and plastic to let it, start to drain out the backstock of it. There might still be some of it running. So there goes the silica. It's going through this building. Kind of a nice way of hiding it. And then they're going to come up here. Again, these are all going to go away. This line won't be here any longer. It's really just the storage of it. So there won't be any clipping. Again, I'm going to revamp a lot of this. A lot of these are now dead lines because, they were running supplies. So I'm off camera probably just going to rerun a lot of this. But for now, so that will all start flowing down here. Let's get into this building and start flipping the recipes over. I flipped a couple of them in case I let it run, so something would start. Like these first two are already flipped over and ready to go. But all the other ones still had a bunch of resources left in them, and I just kind of wanted to let them drain out. So I'm going to let the lines kind of get to where they're coming down here, make sure everything looks good. Let these first two kick in, and then we'll start swapping out the recipes for the other ones. All right, I had to run back upstairs. Apparently I drew the silica line to the wrong output, wrong input. I deleted that conveyor that was the plastic conveyor, and then immediately connected this to the wrong port. Oh man. I did mention it's kind of late here, right? Okay, so they're running now, and that should be good. So this facility is going to produce more circuit boards than we need for the 4 computer manufacturers that it was previously supplying. But it will not on its own supply enough for the other 4 that we want to get going soon. So for now, this is fine. We don't need to do anything else. And in fact, we're not going to turn the other 4 manufacturers on today because of Quickwire. We want to focus on getting our high-speed connectors up and running, which we will do in the next episode. So I'm pasting the new recipes into here. This is a great thing you can do. You can just Control V. You don't even have to open up the machine if you weren't aware of that. Let's go upstairs and get the rest of them. All right, let's head back to the house and do our... Oh, we flipped this old train around. I will see you guys back at home. Be it ever so humble, there is no place like home. All right, thanks very much again for coming out. Like I said, we gotta call it here. I know we're over time. We got a lot of work done today. We got our electronics hub station flipped around and reconstructed, and that is a big boon because if we need to continue to expand on the stations in there, it'll be a lot easier to manage how they go and how the flow goes. I'm very glad that we finally got that taken care of. But we also got our Silica up and running twice over because I built that initial one and loved the design so much, and then I just had to redesign it from scratch when I realized that we were going to need more Silica immediately when we did our high-speed connectors. So that was a little frustrating, but that's what this game's about, right? You build and you do the math, and sometimes you have to build some more, and that's just the way it goes. But we are set up to go straight into high-speed connectors, which we should do in the next episode. But thanks again very much for coming out. And once again, I want to welcome all of our new subscribers from last episode. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the series. I encourage you to go back and rewatch the series from the beginning if you enjoy the content. And I hope you continue to enjoy it. Again, definitely hit the comment section. Let me know what you like about it. Let me know if you have any suggestions or anything else you would like to see, or just say hello and welcome. But thanks again for watching. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't. Definitely click the like button, because small-time YouTuber, I can't stress it enough. That's one of the big things that the algorithm looks for. That's what gives us more exposure. So definitely click the like button if you've enjoyed it. But thanks again, and I hope to see you in the next episode.